Guys, the sun is out. The barbecue is on. It's that time of year. Come on, let's cook some beautiful food. So we're gonna do surf and turf, meat and fish. And we will do a salad like you've never had before. Not boring, We're gonna have big flavors. Mangoes, coconut, grated carrot, lime, herbs, beautiful bit of chilies. Get ourselves a lovely big bowl. So I just want a fresh dressing. So for that, I'm gonna use 2 lovely limes. If you wanna get more juice out of your lime, give it a little roll. If you've got a little fine grater, this little bit of green zest is amazing. Not the white part, that's bitter, but the green part is phenomenally fragrant. Lime and mango are seriously best friends, okay? So we'll have the juice going in here, squeeze it in, every last bit, don't waste any. I wanna go in with some nice olive oil, and then a nice seasoning of salt, pepper, and if you want to kind of accent it, a little bit of chili. Now this is Scotch bonnet, so it's got a bit of a kick, but Scotch bonnet is probably my favorite chili. You can see I'm only using a little bit of it, right? That goes into here, and this is gonna be amazing. And then with regards to herbs, fresh mint, just roll it up like this, and then slice it up. So that is gonna be a fantastic dressing. So mango, I like to put my knife in and feel where that little stone is, and then you just kind of cut around that stone. Twizzle it around, and we'll do exactly the same again. Hit the stone, I can feel it, and then you just very gently go around it. So we've got the sides of mango here. Now we'll cut them into 3, and then I just put the tip of the knife between the skin and the flesh, and literally just run it in like a little flat line like that. So we've got these lovely chunks of mango. So we want this salad to be exciting. So nice big mouthful chunks. So we'll go in with the chunks, look at that. And then this little bit of kind of seed here and the skin, just grab that and squeeze the juice out. Let's get some spring onions. So I'll just take the ends off. Then I just want to finely slice the lovely spring onions like that. So in with the spring onions like that. And then beautiful cashew nuts, a nice big handful to go in. With the carrot, you can either grate it, or if you want to, practice a bit of knife skills, just slice them up and do them into little matchsticks. So in with the carrot. Let's get a coconut into this beautiful salad. In your hand, something heavy like a rolling pin, a nice little confident thwack. There you go. Lovely. Beautiful. If you just kind of get the tip of your knife in, you should be able to just prise out that nut in a nice, beautiful way. And what I want to do now is just grab myself a little box grater. Get that lovely coconut and just grate it. So grate all of that coconut up, and look at that, all that lovely pearly white coconut. So let's sprinkle that into our salad. So I'll pick some whole mint leaves in. Let's just give this a nice little toss. Look at the colours, absolutely beautiful. And that lovely dressing. So look, there's our little salad. So there you go, lovely people. An exciting salad with that mango, cashews, the coconut, the mint, the chili. That's gonna be joyful.
I'm taking crunchy new season salad leaves at their very best in spring and pimping them up with my twist on a classic French dressing. Served with a stunning roast chicken and nuggets of tangy cheese in my roast chicken springtime salad.
So let's start with the marinade for the chicken. I'm gonna use some beautiful herbs here. I've got some oregano. It's a brilliant herb, beautiful, savory herb with citrusy notes. Very good with lamb, very good with chicken. Actually, it's very good with fish. It's good with everything. What I'm gonna do is just get all these leaves off the stalk, like a handful, generous handful we got there. And we'll get those in the pestle and mortar. If you haven't got one, you can use a liquidizer or you can chop it if you want. A nice, generous pinch of salt and pepper and give it a ruddy good bashing, excuse the noise. Once you've got it to a kind of nice little pulp like this, right, we can go in then with a couple of cloves of garlic. Once the garlic's smashed up, then loosen that with olive oil. That's about 3 tablespoons. And we go from bashing then to muddling, and that is how you extract incredible flavour. Now we want a little bit of acidity to balance that, so it could be lemon juice, it could be vinegar, it doesn't really matter.
So a little bit of lemon juice goes in, and that over the chicken is going to be amazing. Look at the colour. When I roast it, by the way, I'm going to put a very simple trivet of a couple of onions, just cut in half like that. And I leave the skins on because they kind of protect the onions and allow them to really kind of caramelise and go jammy and sticky and gorgeous. And then a little bit of garlic. I'll just put half a garlic in there. Again, leave it in the skins, and later on I can squeeze the garlic out and it's sweet and caramelised and gorgeous. Now, for the chicken, the easiest preparation ever is to spatchcock the chicken. You pick it up like that, you get a knife, you're going to do one little cut down the back, and that's going to open it out like a book. And just flatten it out. By making it flat, you've increased the surface area. It's going to cook quicker. But also, we've got this kind of thing between the breast meat that cooks quicker than the leg meat. So what I want to do is encourage more flavour in this breast meat. You get the skin at the back, and you stick your finger under the breast like this, right to the end. Try not to tear it anywhere, right? And you do it on the other side as well. So now we've got a pocket between the breast and the skin. And then I can put the marinade under there. I can put a knob of butter under there.
Hi.
Hi, babe.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, good.
What
In
are you
my
doing?
little shack.
No, I love it.
Lunch is being prepared. Can you grab that butter and
Yeah.
bring it over here? Can you cut me 2 slithers of butter about 1 centimetre thick, please?
Yeah.
If you can pass me that, because I've got chickeny hands. I just take the skin and the butter and I put it underneath like that and take some of this marinade and not just put it on the top, but also put it inside as well. Take these onions, I'll face them down like that, and the garlic, and I'll take our beautiful chicken, right? That is gonna taste incredible. All of this marinade here, don't waste any of that. We'll put that on top. So that's gonna go in the oven for about 50 minutes to an hour at 200 degrees Celsius, 400 Fahrenheit. I'm gonna have a little wash up. Okay, so we're gonna do lardons. If you can just put a little bit of olive oil in there, Jay.
Yeah. Doesn't matter which one.
That one's great. Lovely smoked streaky bacon. This is just stuff from the supermarket. I want the lardons to be like golden, crunchy. Put a little bit of black pepper on these as well. So after about a minute, you can see that's nice and golden. Lardon's done. And I'm now gonna do some croutons. Use any bread that you can get your hands on. So just cut them into sort of rough dice. So Jay, do you mind just sprinkling those into there? The only missing trick is the dressing. Dijon mustard is the beginning of the story. A nice, generous 1 or 2 teaspoons olive oil and red wine vinegar. Try that. Delicious, right?
Nice, yeah.
So 2 tablespoons of lovely red wine vinegar. What you can do if you're geeky is you can blend an olive oil with an extra virgin olive oil. Normally it's like 3 or 4 times the amount of oil to vinegar. And then a little honey, a little teaspoon going in there. Let's lay out the salad and we'll be good to go. Let's have this little bit of radish. Now it's time for the really classic bit, the Roquefort. What we're doing is taking an average salad to the next level. Last but not least, a nice handful of grated walnuts. I've got the lovely lardons. That is a fine salad. Jules, put a few croutons on the top. Beautiful dressing, look at that. Thick, gorgeous French dressing. Finish it with some lovely herbs, fennel, and you've got those lovely chive flowers right now, look at those. And these are banging season. So Jules, if you can sprinkle those over the top in a nice flourish, I'll finely slice these. The chive flowers are like the most delicate, sort of fragrant, sweet flavour. That chicken's had about 50 minutes. The spatchcocking at 200 does roast very, very fast. Look at that chicken. That is full of deliciousness. This is my idea of heaven. Just plate up 2 lovely plates of food and have a nice little bit of lunch together. Hungry?
Yeah.
You can tell if a chicken's cooked nicely, if that meat just kind of comes off the bone, not just easily. Can you see how juicy it is. Completely moist, beautifully cooked through. And I know someone that might want to try it. Let's get a bit without any of that garlic flavouring. Conker.
He was literally just going on the round to find you.
Yeah. Can't believe the dog gets a bit of chicken before me. Let's get in here. Take out a nice little wadge. Make sure you've got a little bit of everything on there. There you go, the love of my life. Why don't you sit at my desk over there? I'll come and join you. I haven't set up a proper table here yet. How is it, Jay?
Amazing. The best lunch ever.
Really?
Yeah, it's right up my street.
Does that mean you'll come over to my little shack more often?
Yeah, I will. Definitely.
I'm gonna have to get a table here, though. I love it. It's so good. Leaves, croutons, bacon dressing.
The cheese is the best bit.
That explosion of cheese. So good.
Yeah.
Such a delicious salad. Now, Jules. When we finish this,
Yeah.
can you help me with the washing up?
Absolutely.
I'm going to show you how to make the most delicious super veg salad. So let's do it. We're starting off here with a butternut squash. When you're going to cut this in half, get the tip of the knife in this end, put it down and cut through. We just swap this around, grab it again, and see the little line there? We'll join that back up and we'll go down to the base and we'll split it. And there we have it. And we're going to roast this in the oven at 200 degrees Celsius. And in that time, it will soften up and it will become really sweet and delicious and nutty. And it will look a little bit like this. The oven has earned you delicious flavour. It's shrunk a little bit, it's soft now. Even the seeds are like little delicious peanuts. Next, we're gonna get more good stuff into the story. So we're gonna use these gorgeous little tender stem broccoli, are pretty delicate. So what you can do is just trim the ends off. If they're a bit on the chunky side, just split it down the middle, happy days. So spring onions, and then those little roots at the end, I just trim those off. The next part of our amazing salad is some croutons. Now you can use any bread you like. So I'm gonna cut this bread in half, about 200 grams, and then I wanna dice it up into sort of inch-sized chunks. Rough and ready, don't stress about anything. And then with the broccoli here, and just a little kiss of olive oil. What I wanna do now is just massage this up, all the croutons as well, and then we can sprinkle that onto the squash. So what this is going to do in the oven is char up and catch and tenderize the broccoli and the spring onions. This is going to be amazing. So guys, look at that, right? We're going to put that back in the oven for about 15-20 minutes until the broccoli is charred but tender and delicious. So that is a time to clean down, and then I'll show you how to make the most amazing dressing. So instead of the standard dressing, let's use the beautiful avocado. Take the end off, then carefully just put your knife in and run it around like that, very delicately. Once you've done that and the lines have joined up, then you can simply just tweak it like that and out it comes. Now, obviously you need a nice ripe avocado for this. So get your knife and give it a tap and then simply tweak it out, happy days. To get that out, just give the tip of the knife a little tap and off it comes. We're gonna use a liquidizer, and what I wanna do is squeeze that beautiful green creamy flesh out of the avocado, every last bit of it. So just add about 100 mils of water, tablespoons of nice extra virgin olive oil, and then I love using lemon juice. Just put your hands over like that and squeeze it into your hands, and if there's any pips, you can catch those. Smells amazing. Now, I've got a bit of basil here, just a couple of leaves, gives you a nice little kind of infusion of flavour, but that's optional. And then simply whiz it up. So unbelievably simple. The colour is absolutely tremendous. And that, kissing all those lovely veggies, is gonna be incredible. Now the last bit before I finish off the salad that really embellishes this to make it super, super exciting for texture and flavour is some nuts. They're super nutritious. These ones are salted and smoked. Get a pestle and mortar. All I do with these is basically smash them up and turn it into the most incredible garnish. We are ready and raring to serve up. So look, have a look at this. Gorgeous. Can you see the broccoli? See how it's tender, super, super soft here, but then it's charred nicely here. That's mega flavour. So let's make this really, really exciting. So first up, a little spinach, super nutritious. The croutons are looking really, really nice. And we've got that amazing squash. Get a spoon and literally like that. Can you see? Look at the colour. Steamy, sweet, nutty gorgeousness. Oh, it smells amazing. And just let it be nice and rustic, super simple. Get this amazing dressing, just spoon on top. Look at that. So we get the seeds in there as well. And then last but not least, those amazing smoky smashed up almonds. So there you go, guys. That is a salad, but not as you know it. Nutritious, exciting, fun. Let's have a taste. Come on. Enough yapping. That's delicious. The squash is nutty and sweet. And then it's soft, so you get that kind of crunch of the almonds. It's smoky. That is a mouthful of joy. So guys, what are you waiting for? Have a cook up and enjoy. Go on. Now I'm going to show you a beautiful homemade warm salad with shredded Brussels sprouts, bacon, spinach, sliced orange, an amazing dressing and homemade croutons. Come on. It's beautiful, delicious, and it's really fun to make. So let's do this. Get yourself a pan on. We're going to use, for the beginning of the flavour, bacon. And you don't have to go mad on the bacon, right? So we want to make them healthier. So that's also about restraint. So 4 slices is all we need, and just slice it up as fine as you can. So what we want to do is get that crispy. I'll add that to the pan, and immediately that'll start crispening up. Add a little olive oil to the pan and just move it all around. It already smells amazing. At the heart of this dish is the crouton. So a clever little healthy swap is to make your own crouton, because we can trade up from white bread to like a mixed seed brown bread, right? So you get more fiber, more goodness, and more flavor, honestly. So if you get like 3 centimeter slices, just try and slice this up into like centimeter-ish cubes. We're gonna use this bread to make the best croutons ever. So if you look in the pan now, the bacon's getting lightly golden. Take these croutons and just sprinkle these in. We'll give it a nice little shake. We're not gonna rush this, right? We're gonna kind of take about 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes on a medium heat. Just keep moving it, tossing it around, getting it golden, crisp, and delicious. So they're gonna blow your mind, okay? So, let's get onto the Brussels sprouts. What you can do is just cut your Brussels sprout in half, put this onto its flat edge, then we can just rock chop and go as fine as you can. And that's gonna give you a completely different texture, more like a slaw. Now, if you're worried about your knife skills, don't worry. Use a food processor, and literally in seconds, you just basically done. So we have our beautiful Brussels sprouts. For the people that are not converted yet, with a little bit of helping hand from the world's best croutons, it's gonna be so, so good. People will fight for it, I promise you. So next, we're gonna do a lovely dressing. So, so simple. First and foremost, extra virgin olive oil. And then I'm gonna go in with some nice balsamic, delicious, about a tablespoon. Baby spinach, beautiful. We could actually just put the Brussels sprouts in raw, and I actually love it. But what I quite like to do in this recipe is just soften them a little bit. So what I'm gonna do is just get these croutons and just shake them to one side like that, and put these beautiful Brussels into the pan. Give them a little mix around, and a little bit of heat for 2 or 3 minutes just softens them, makes them a pleasure to eat, and makes them cling onto the dressing in the most beautiful way. This dressing and this salad is gonna come together beautifully. The last bit is the oranges. Just get a bit of that lovely orange zest for later. And this is a fantastic garnish, but it's beautiful and it smells incredible. And then what I'm gonna do, I'll peel it and then gorgeous little slices, thin as you can. You can lay that around our plate here. Back to the pan here, take all of this into here, and this is why it's called a warm salad, right? So we need a little bit of speed. I'm gonna put this back on the heat. There's one last thing I wanna do, and that's introduce some hazelnuts. A handful, just to wake up the flavor. It's gonna be amazing. So while they're toasting, just get into a nice big bowl, get your hands in there, and give it a proper dress. Do not let any leaf or bit of Brussels go undressed, okay? That is the joy of a good salad. Look at that. Nice and quick, so you don't cook the spinach. So it's a big, tasty, substantial salad. And then I'm gonna take these beautiful toasted hazelnuts. I'll whack them in a little pestle and mortar, bash up the hazelnuts, and we're literally gonna let it rain down the little bits of orange zest. That, my friends, is a properly tasty salad. Crispy bacon, homemade croutons, Brussels with lovely spinach, orange and balsamic. Gorgeous. Just get in there. I know this is gonna be amazing. Those croutons are insanely good. Beautiful baked cod with a wonderful sort of sun-dried tomato paste and beautiful breadcrumbs, really tasty. Whack on this oven to grill. I've got some lovely cod here. You could use haddock. This is enough fish here to feed 6 people easily. What I want to do is flavour this lightly and get it cooking. So I've got some olive oil going into a roasting tray. Pepper goes in, salt goes in. I've got some whole fennel seeds, about a teaspoon. Just shake those in. Put the fish in that. Give it a little shake around and a massage. If it's a little bit long like this, just get the tail and fold it underneath, and that makes it kind of an even thickness as well. So normally I put the skin on top so it gets crispy, but today I'm not looking for that because I've got the breadcrumbs on top going crispy. So the skin will go on the bottom. That will protect the meat and make it juicy and flaky. That's going to go straight in to our oven, which is sort of heating up, getting warm now. What I'm going to do now is the paste, which goes on top, and the breadcrumbs. So first things up, I'm going to use my processor. In here, I'm going to put half a chilli, sun-dried tomatoes. Now, in the sun-dried tomatoes, you've got the oil as well. Just put a little swig of that oil, and then about half a jar of the tomatoes, probably about 10 in number. And of course, you're going to get an incredible flavour and sweetness from that. I'm going to use 2 cloves of garlic, just squeeze it in there like that. Get a fine grater here and just zest the lemon. Then I want the juice as well. The lemon juice is going to really draw the flavour out of the sun-dried tomatoes as well. And then I want a nice big handful of basil. Even the stalks, if they're nice delicate stalks, just put those in as well. And then I need a little balsamic vinegar, about a tablespoon. You want about 40 grams of Parmesan, about an inch square knob. That goes in, and then we'll whiz it up. Let's have a look in here. Ah. The basil, the tomatoes, the lemon, garlic punching in there, really good. What I'm gonna do now is, even though this cod has only been in for like a couple of minutes, I'm gonna take it out now, and I'm gonna put this lovely paste on top. So a nice splurge on there to just smear that lovely paste in and around the fish. What's nice is those few ingredients in that processor are just such tremendous flavour. Once you've done that, gonna go back to our processor, back with the blade. You want about 200 grams of bread. Just tear it up, put it in there. So that's getting finer there. And what I want to do in here is get some anchovies, okay? I'm going to use half of the anchovies in here and half of the oil. So that's about 4 fillets of anchovy. And then in there as well, I'm going to put some pepper. These are your breadcrumbs, so you don't want them to be bland. And a couple more cloves of garlic. So I'll use the crusher again, always using that crusher. Wazz it up. Just sprinkle it on the top. And try and keep it in the middle like that. And then I've got this rosemary and thyme here. Just drizzle it in your hand. You've always got to put a little olive oil on herbs if you're going to roast them. I'm going to just put them on the top like this. It's just going to give a little bit of flavour. Beautiful. So look at that. 2 giant grown-up fish fingers. They're going to be amazing. The breadcrumbs will go crispy. You know, the tomatoes will just go oozy, and the fish will just flake and be juicy. And that skin on the bottom's really protecting it. So that's going to go straight under the grill. I'm going to put it in the middle of the oven so that it doesn't get dark too quick. Notice that I got the fish quite low down here, so the heat's coming from the top, but it's not kind of crisping it up straight away, so it's going to cook it really nicely. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful. So we've got best of both worlds there. We've got tender, flaky fish, that beautiful, rich tomato sort of edge around there, and that crispy, crispy topping there. Looks gorgeous, really tasty, beautiful.
Sometimes you want to pull out all the stops to impress, but that doesn't mean cooking has to be stressful.
People often presume that to have a restaurant quality meal, you've got to put hours and hours of work in, and it's not the case. I've been working on the most delicious recipe. This is a midweek meal that is so fresh and delicious, and it looks amazing. It's a 10-minute meal, and it's a lovely piece of cod. I've got lovely seasonal asparagus, and we're making an amazing version of a Hollandaise, and it's embracing the much-loved avocado. This is a Hollandaise like you've never seen before. Really easy, no splitting, and when you see it all together, I think you're gonna love it. And it's healthy as well, full of colour. So first up, normally with a classic Hollandaise, you'd have vinegar or lemon juice, and you would kind of fragrance that with herbs, black peppercorns and stuff like that. So I'm gonna kind of go down that alley, right? I'm gonna take spring onions instead of shallots, and I'll just take the green part and just slice that up like that and put that into a pan. I'm then gonna add the juice of half a lemon straight into there and a little swig of white wine vinegar. So that's gonna give you the tang and acidity that works so well with fish. So lemon juice goes in, catch any pips, like that. A pinch of black pepper. I'll take a little salt as well. And then I'm gonna add a little kiss of water, about 100 millilitres, and we're just gonna let that infuse. So that'll come up to the boil. We don't need any more time than that. Let's just talk about the Hollandaise. It's a classic French sauce. It's a fundamental sauce. And it's golden, it's silky, it's delicious. And it's all about emulsifying egg yolks with fat, butter. It can split when you're making it, if you're not really careful. And it can split when you keep it warm, when you're doing your dinner parties. So I'm gonna take all of that away. Please do not stress. Now, normally, when you do a Hollandaise, what you would do is get your egg yolks and beat it and whisk it over a bain-marie, which is a little pot of boiling water, and then add your clarified butter, okay, along with this, right? I'm gonna simplify it much, much more. So I'm gonna take the egg, and the egg yolk I'll put straight into this little liquidizer. At the same time, I'm gonna take our source of fat. We're not using butter, we're gonna use avocado, a nice, ripe avocado. So simply get a knife, cut it very carefully down to the stone, and then just click it out like that. You can give it a little tap with a knife, stone comes out, and take that beautiful, vivid green avocado out, and that goes in. And actually, the texture and fibre in the avocado really stabilises the whole thing. It takes the risk out. The herb, I'm gonna keep, you know, pretty classic with some lovely tarragon. Now, the truth is, you can have fun with this. If you wanted to do mint or basil or parsley or marjoram, you can. Tarragon has got that aniseed kind of flavour, which is very good with asparagus and fish. 3 or 4 sprigs go in. I'll put that to one side. As soon as that water, lemon and vinegar has come to the boil, we're good to go. We'll go into our blender, very carefully, get all those lovely bits of spring onion. That goes in. So no more whisking, right? No more vulnerability, no more possibility of splitting. And although I'll be banned from France for life for doing this recipe, it is a really clean, beautiful, silky, elegant sauce. Look at that colour. Vivid green, silky smooth. So give it a nice little wazz up, and that's it. That's the sauce done. Look at this, guys. This would be the bit where normally you're worried about splitting it. It's delicious. Really, really good. I'll adjust the seasoning, very important, and I'll put just a little extra boiling water in this just to adjust the consistency to your liking. So I'll just buzz this up just to make it a little bit lighter. The colour is just amazing. Look at that. The perfume from the tarragon and the tang of the vinegar and the lemon juice is going to be so good with the fish. Now you can serve this hot, warm, or even room temperature, okay? So I'm going to keep it just warm for the moment. So that's the first part of the recipe, very simple. The next bit, which is kind of the end of the recipe, we're going to cook the fish and asparagus. So we'll get that on full whack in the same pan, and we're going to steam. So steaming is a beautiful, elegant, very healthy, clean method of cooking, right? And I think it's particularly good with fish. So I'm going to add just a centimetre of water to a pan and bring that to the boil. Now, I've got 2 lovely portions of cod here. You could have pollock, Megram, whatever is sustainable, whatever is local. You know, you can have real fun with this. But what I have to do in the steaming method is cook the asparagus at the same time as the fish. So this is about 4 minutes, right? I reckon that's going to take about 5 minutes. So you can control how quickly your fish cooks by how you choose to cut it. And it's as simple as cut it in half. Now, when I steam that, that's 4 minutes. That's going to cook at the same time as that. And this asparagus is beautiful. It's really nice seasonal veg. What I want to do is take that woody end off. Now this, don't throw away. This makes the most amazing soup. A stew, fantastic in broths, or you can even compost it. We should all be composting. And this asparagus will now go on the bottom of the pan and become a trivet for putting the fish on top. I want to season the cod with some salt all over. I don't want to do it with pepper because I want it to stay pearly white and clean. So put your fish like that, boom, boom. How beautiful is that? And then lid on top. So we're boiling on the bottom and we're steaming on the top. This is going to be amazing. 4 minutes, that's it, 4 minutes, couple of minutes. Mate, we're doing really well. So let's do kind of what you would call a garnish. Let me just wash my hands and clean my knife. So I'll take these 2 white parts of the base of 2 spring onions, cut them in half, and try and use your best knife skills just to slice them up as thin as you can. Now, a nice little tip here is if you get some iced water, these will all curl up and go extra crunchy. And that will apply to anything crunchy you want to slice up. It could be a radish, it could be a chili, it could be even herbs. Literally just water and a few ice cubes is all you need. And now I just want to pick a few leaves of that tarragon. Just sort of helps finish it off really nicely. Give that a little mix. Now, I can't help myself but to put a little bit of chili in there as well. Just a couple of bits of chili, but you can see, look at the colours. Just gorgeous. And guys, that's it. Look how simple this is to plate up, right? Plate, sauce, couple of tablespoons goes on. Just use the back of the spoon just to kind of move it around a little bit. Then the fish comes off, right? It's done. Look at the lovely chunks of cod. Be delicate with them. And get your lovely asparagus and place this like that on top. And this probably feels more pedantic than I would normally do, but I don't care because I'm kind of excited. Place the fish on top. Some of this lovely spring onion, chili and tarragon, and just whip off the cold water. And we'll just kind of hold that on top like that. And that's it. And even if you do this badly and roughly, it will be beautiful. Really fresh, really healthy, really vivacious. A little kiss of lovely olive oil. And that is a beautiful, beautiful dish. In the middle of the week, come on, darling, want a little bit of lunch? There you go. Oh, what's that? Oh, I've got a nice little avocado Hollandaise. Oh, what you been doing now? Oh, yeah, seconds. Lovely steamed fish and asparagus. Oh, you must have worked so hard. Seconds. Well, minutes. So there we go. I think it's fresh, it's really healthy, and super beautiful. Just look at that. Right, let's get in there. Let's just get the perfect little mouthful. Bit of asparagus, bit of sauce. Let's have a little bit of tarragon. You still get that richness from the avocado. The tang from the lemon juice and the vinegar is so good. And then that method of steaming the fish, look how it just flakes. Look at that, it just literally flakes apart. So delicate. It's a lovely little mouthful. It's full of flavour, full of texture. Classy, really classy. And the 3 things work so well together. Wow, what a dish.
Packed with eye-popping colours and mouth-watering flavours.
So we're gonna make an incredible salad. This is a celebration of colour, texture, flavour, and it's probably a salad like you've never seen before.
This recipe uses watermelon, pine nuts, crunchy radishes, fresh mint, and crumbly feta cheese.
Check this out, we have got a lovely watermelon. And yes, I love it, we have it as a fruit, but we can actually use it in a salad. Let me just tell you, this is gonna absolutely rock the flavor party, okay? So we're gonna be using watermelon as the base to this salad. Delicious, let's do it.
So get a dry pan on a medium heat and throw in 2 tablespoons of pine nuts.
Yes, the Ferrari of nuts. I want them lightly toasted. Subtlety and creaminess, that's what we want. So, a nice, ripe watermelon, one that's firm, okay? I'm gonna kind of hold it like this and just chip off the skin. You just keep turning it and chipping it. You wanna get through that white skin to the beautiful pink. If you can just see it, then that's perfect. So just chip away, slowly but surely, and I want you just to peel about half of the watermelon, okay? And this way you can kind of hold it and it's firm. So get rid of the skin. Let's check my nuts. Whew, that was close. Have a little look at that. That's what I want. Nice, mildly toasted nuts. So the reason I've peeled my melon like this is because I can hold it, it's kind of stable. Just use a knife to just sort of slice the meat like a piece of ham, right? Go as fine as you can, but it's no big deal. Go fat, whatever your knife skills allow, just go for that. I mean, look at the colour. And that kind of green around the edge, you know, you could trim that off because it's slightly underripe, but it's got kind of cucumbery tones and flavours to it. I like that. I like it a lot. So look, you can kind of see, it's fairly fine, but you know, you still want a bit of thickness to it so you can kind of get that full explosion of deliciousness. Lay it on a platter. Look at that. You don't really want any seeds or pips, so take those out. The radishes. If you look at them, the greens are actually very edible and delicious. If it looks good and if it's fresh, then you give it a wash and you eat the whole thing. Delicious. Slice the radish and just have it as half. I can just leave that whole. There's no rules here, guys. Looks like being a dealer at poker. There you go. Little radish card. And then the mint. And the mint with the watermelon is another level.
And simply dot the fresh feta over the platter too.
And then next up, I just want to make a really simple dressing.
Pour 1 part vinegar into a jam jar, add 3 parts extra virgin olive oil, season with salt, and chop up some mint for extra flavour.
Gorgeous. So that is your basic dressing. Give it a shake, and then just put that in and around this amazing salad. Look at that, guys. And then last but not least, let's get these nuts. Simply sprinkle some, crunch up some in your hand, and have a little sprinkle up there. And that, my friends, is a beautiful salad. That is a watermelon salad carpaccio with feta cheese, mint, radish, and pine nuts. Joy, 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 joy. For me, I quite like the fact that the melon's like a little kind of edible plate. Oh. These flavours are so elegant, and there's real contrast. The saltiness of the feta with that sweetness from that beautiful watermelon. That little bit of the nuts, sort of toastiness, and the crunch from the radish is just so good. What a salad. What a salad. You've got to have a go at that.
A stunning celebration of summer to add to any table. Totally scrumptious and outrageously easy.
Quite nice with food to go back to old friends. And this old friend, well, he's a little bit of a dirty old friend, but I love him. We're gonna make homemade pizza, and I'm gonna make it from just store-cupboard ingredients. It's an easy recipe, and you can knock it out in about 15 minutes, so it's super quick. So let's make a beautiful deep pan pizza from scratch that is so simple and so delicious, you're gonna have a go at home, I can promise you. So, pan on, medium-high heat. First of all, we're gonna start with sausage. I've got 2 lovely Cumberland sausages. Use whatever sausages you've got. Of course, the better the quality, the better the flavour. I'll go into the pan with just a little bit of olive oil or sunflower oil or whatever you've got, and then I'll get the sausage, grasp it, and then squeeze
the meat from inside out. So you're basically going to get these beautiful little mini sort of meatballs. So I'm just going to have a little hand wash with some of these sausages. Right, we can break one up so you get like almost little mincemeaty bits. I want to leave a couple sort of in nice big chunks, but rough and ready, we like that. You can see it kind of getting some colour on it. Now, at this point in the story, what I can do is add some store cupboard herbs, you know, so like mixed herbs or some oregano, whatever you've got. Just put that in the fat and it will start sizzling away. So next up, 2 onions. So just half and peel your onions and finely slice. So in we go with the onions and they will start sucking up all that beautiful flavour already. Oh, it smells amazing already. Come on. When these onions start to soften, I want to add a little something else to it, and that is some jalapeno. So I've got it in the jar, and what I'm going to do is just pour some of that vinegar in to give it a nice little kind of sweet and sour vibe, and a little spice. So that's going to add to the flavour, and then we'll put jalapenos in there as well. So that's on a medium heat now, and as that just continues to cook and get even better and better, let me show you how to make this beautiful pizza base. It is so simple. And this is bigging up another store cupboard ingredient, self-raising flour, 500 grams, okay? So get yourself a bowl. If you've got a kilo bag, half of it, give or take. We're gonna put in 250 millilitres of water, or basically enough water until it comes together as a dough. Very simple, and a good pinch of salt. 3 ingredients. Just bring together that dough, and you want to create a nice elastic dough. That looks pretty good. A little bit more. So can you see how, look at that. In literally 1 minute, we've created quite a moist, sort of elastic dough. Outrageously quick. So there you go. That is your dough. And then here is your topping. That goes on my board, because I only want to wash one thing up. Yes, it's not just convenience and deliciousness. Also, I don't want to wash up much. So I'm going to take this dough, carefully, without touching the hot pan, of course, push this pizza in the pan out, just like that. So you can see how springy this dough is. And actually, the heat is still on a medium heat, right? I'm cooking this dough now, okay? So this is part of the cheat. And then I'm going to come along and I'm going to put the topping back on top and push the topping all over the place, right to the edges. Now, normally there'd be like mozzarella over the top. Well, if you haven't got that, what have we got? We've got cheddar. So we'll have cheddar, we'll take that. We want to be flexible now, right? So whatever you've got, you can get it in there. And I quite like kind of getting little bombs of it, small bits, chunks of it. You can get a grater if you want and put a little dusting over the top. It doesn't matter. This will be a beautiful thing. A few more bits of jalapeno just to kind of, you know, make a point. So I'm going to turn the heat up to about medium-high now, and then I'll cook it for about 3 to 5 minutes until there's a little crust starting to form, which is about now. Let's put that in the oven at full whack for about 10 to 30 minutes until it's crisp, golden and sizzling. So this has had about 10 minutes. Oh, come on. Look at that, sizzling away. Such a great little cheat. Get your spatula in there, take it off. Look at that. So good. Absolutely lovely. Ah, yes. Brilliant. Crispy base, fluffy inside. So good. This is an incredible cheats veggie folded pizza. So good, so much fun to make. So look, bowl, and we've got 300 grams of self-raising flour. It's already got that raising agent in there, but it doesn't need to prove. So we've got 160 milliliters of water, cold water, very important, and then a nice pinch of salt. Get a fork and just mix it up. And then as you bring the flour in, it will get thicker and thicker and more awkward. When it's too awkward to use the fork anymore, then we're gonna use our clean hands. So just move that dough around for like a couple of minutes. It's super easy. And once it's cleaned the side of the bowl,
we're good to go. So we'll let that rest for a little bit. Now let's get on with the filling. So we're gonna start off with peppers. Put your thumb where the stalk is, tear it open, take out the seeds and the white bits, roughly slice those up. So look, get yourself a pan on, a medium heat, tablespoon of olive oil. I'm gonna use 2 cloves of garlic to give it that nice flavour. If, and only if you want to, chilli. Don't have to. I use a little bit, even with the kids. I'm training them. A little bit of background heat is quite nice. Into a pan, smells amazing already. So look, basil, pick the leaves off for later in the sauce, which I can put to one side. But then the stalks, don't throw them away. There's plenty of flavour. We can just slice up and we can get that in there as well. So in we go. We want to get ourselves a nice onion. I've used a red onion, which I love. Just going to peel it and then just slice it up. That can go into the garlic. And we just want to soften that up for a little second. Oh, my eyes are starting to water a little bit, but that's all good. In with the peppers. And we're going to season with pepper, very emotionally. So one of the great guides to helping you be healthy is colour. Colour is a signal of maximum nutrition, vitamins. It's a really beautiful thing, and look at the colours of that. I now want to cook this down for about 10 minutes to really kind of concentrate those flavours that are going to make you go, oh, that's so tasty. So whilst that's doing that, let's get on with the pizza bases. So this cheats dough, roll it out into a little bit of a sausage, so it's roughly an even size. Cut it in the middle, and then cut each half into 2. Use your hand to make a little ball. There you go. Ball 1, ball 2. Push down, move around, and you get your little ball. So every now and again, come back, give it a nice little stir. So just get a little bit of the flour, use a clean surface. On we go, and just kind of roll it back and forth away from you. Turn the dough. I'm going to try and go nice and thin, and about 7 to 8 inches in diameter. We'll let those relax a little bit again. And back in the pan, you can see it's shrunk down. It smells amazing. Turn up the heat, and then in with some beautiful tinned tomatoes. The plum tomatoes are always the better quality. And then fill this up with some water, and in that goes. Now use your spoon to break up those tomatoes. Let that simmer for about 5 to 10 minutes until it's thick and intense and gorgeous. Now what I want to do now is show you how to do the folded pizza. So I'm going to use this tray. I want to oil it up so it doesn't stick. Take our base, and take some of this lovely filling. Grab the sides, pinch it, one end, pinch it at the other, and then just kind of let it hang. Any imperfections or tears will cook out. It will be rustic, it will be beautiful. Don't stress. Pinch, pinch. So I've got some lovely mozzarella, and push it right in, and that will just ooze beautiful. A few more bits of basil go in. Put a little bit of oil on the tray. Use a brush just to kind of brush up the outside, just to make it golden and delicious and crispy. Look at that. This is now going to go in the oven for around about 15 to 20 minutes at full whack. Now what I like to do is put it at the bottom of the oven so the base gets crispy too. Now what we're going to have with that is a beautiful salad. I dress it with a little bit of lemon juice, some olive oil. Absolutely beautiful. And have a look at that. Oh, come on! So just like bubbling, crisp. I'm really pleased with that. Serve these in the middle of the table. They're amazing hot, they're amazing cold. Look at that, absolutely beautiful. Come on, man. That, my friend, is a thing of joy. My body's saying eat it. My brain's saying don't, it's gonna burn you. It's hot. Oh my God, it's good. Like, some people like a bunch of roses or something. I'd just give me one of those. There you go, darling, I love you. That's what I want. Come on, little boy. This way. Follow me. We're going to do some cooking. Let's go. Sometimes you want a recipe that is so unbelievably simple, where you can just whack it in the oven, let the oven do all the hard work, and then 5 minutes of love and care brings you something that's really delicious and full of life and colour. And I'm going to do the most beautiful warm aubergine salad, and I want to show you how to make a beautiful homemade pesto to dress this whole salad, and particularly the aubergines. Honestly, this is the easiest thing to cook. You just got to understand it. It's one of my favourite vegetables. So what I'm trying to achieve here is a texture that is kind of meaty and moorish and really silky and elegant, and something that can take on flavour. And the great news is I can do that with the easiest method ever. Take 2 aubergines, put them on a tray, whack them in an oven for about 50 minutes at 180 degrees Celsius in a standard oven, right? this wood oven is good to go. Straight in there, let the oven do all the hard work, and we get some salad. So look, I've got some brown lettuce, some oak leaf. You know, I've grown these, but the little bags you get from the supermarket, the mixed bags, can be very good these days. For me, the idea of a salad is to be joyful and celebrate the moment, right? So yes, we've got herbs here, we've got basil, and then you've got things like the flowers, nasturtium. So this, if you eat it, is fresh. Then you get pepper, quite a lot of pepper, and then it calms down, and then you get peaches and apricot. This really will help your everyday salad be something beyond spectacular. And even when it comes to things like a courgette, you've got the lovely flowers here, which you can tear off, and they're very polleny and delicious. Very important to not only wash your salad, but give them a good old whip and get rid of all of that water. If you want a nice dressing to stick to your salad leaves, then you want to give them a little dry. All nice and dry, that's ready to go. Right, now let me show you how to make the pesto. Honestly, this is going to be like the best thing ever for this salad. Now, pesto, of course, is a fantastic Italian paste. Actually, pesto meaning paste can be many, many things. Many different cheeses, herbs, nuts. And actually, it's not just the Italians that do it. Many, many countries around the world have their version. So I want to take inspiration from Greece. So lemon. I'm going to take feta. I'm going to take beautiful almonds, honey for sure. Olives, you know, very Mediterranean. We're going to take herbs. It could be parsley. I'm going to go for a little bit of mint. All we have to do is bring it together. And the best old-fashioned way to do it is in a pestle and mortar. You could use a food processor, for sure. So get your mint stalk, loosely grab it, pull it off. You could easily use different herbs, basil. You could use parsley with great effect. I'm going mint today. I'm just feeling it with the feta cheese. This is going to be quite a rustic, rough pesto, not super smooth. So I'll take a little handful of almonds. I'm going for unpeeled. You could use pine nuts, you could use pistachios if you want. I'm going to take a lemon, and if you've washed it, you can get a fine grater and just put that zest in there like that. Good. Into here, I'm going to add a tablespoon of beautiful honey. So the sweetness will riff off of the acidity from the lemon. Squeeze the lemon juice out, and I'm kind of putting my hands inside here and just bringing out all of that pulp. I want that in there. And then I can use just a little bit of feta, kind of almost like a seasoning instead of a cheese. And then olive oil. Olive oil will just help you translate all of those flavors into the most beautiful pesto. Last ingredient to go is some olives. I want to add about 8 olives, green and black. And if you want delicious olives, buy the ones with the stones still in them. And you literally just squeeze it and just simply take that seed out. And that way, you'll have the most juicy, fragrant, lovely olive going. So we'll go from the pestle here to a spoon. Oh, wow. That tastes amazing. Wow. Woo! Sweet, sour, salty, full of fragrance. Wowee. That is really good. A little bit more feta just sprinkled on top. And that, my friends, is a good job done. So that is the paste. This will dress the salad leaves and, most importantly, embellish the amazing aubergine. So let's have a look at the aubergine. Now, you know, for an aubergine recipe, we haven't really done much with it, right? All we've done is whack it in the oven. So I'll just cut this in half. Now, if you look inside here, you know, some people say it's like caviar, right? Look at the little seeds. Look how soft and silky this is. So this is what we're going to dress up. Now, if you wanted to remove the skin, you could. I quite like it. It's got a charredness to it that I absolutely adore. Hello, mate.
I got my bike.
You got your bike, okay.
I'm stuck.
Let's do a wheelie. Woo!
Dad.
Right, off you go. Julesy, come and see what I'm doing. So, I'm actually making this for lunch.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
I love it. Where are you going to eat today? Outside?
Yeah. All right, babe. See you later. So look, I know I probably got a bit overexcited, but if you're just using a bag of salad and you're whacking that in the oven for an hour, right, that pesto is the only thing you do, right? That is like 3.5, 4 minutes work. So this is the quickest, most delicious, exciting little lunch, dinner, really, really nice. So let's plate it up. Get your nice bed of salad like that. Then I'm gonna take one of these, see how juicy that is, right? So that's the method of cooking. So simple, yet so good. And that's when you get mega flavour. Flavour that goes on and on and on. Just finish that with a couple of little, you know, mint or basil leaves. Take a tiny little bit of feta and a kiss of olive oil. Look at that. Now, the one thing that I'd like to quickly make to go next to that is the simplest little flatbread, which I think with this is gonna be absolutely amazing. Tearing up bread, getting chunks of the aubergine, the pesto, bosh, it's gonna be so, so good. Using self-raising flour. So 1, 2, 3, 4 tablespoons of flour, like that, heaped. And then we'll do the same of yogurt, right? And we'll bring this together as a dough. If it's a little bit wet, you can add a little flour. If it's a little dry, you can add a little bit more yogurt. So just move it around with your spoon, and when it gets almost too hard, then you can take that out and use your hand. And you basically just don't want it to be sticky. It's a little 2-minute wonder that's so fun, so easy. You know, sometimes you need something good quick, and that's it, my friends. And all I do now is just take a little bit of flour, rub that into a board, like this, and I'll just roll it out. And I haven't actually got a roller, I'll just use my pestle, but anything you want. Nice and thin, use a wine bottle, you know, or a rolling pin. Now, what you can do is embellish this with other beautiful things. So if we just took a little bit of garlic, for instance, and just slice that up, nice and thinly, we make our version of a garlic bread, right? So let's take a little bit of black pepper. Happy days. Let's take a herb. I think I'm feeling a little bit of thyme. Just put some thyme flowers on there. We can even do a little bit of rosemary. Roll it out so the herbs and garlic become part of the actual bread, and they will cook into one another. Super beautiful. Look at that. I mean, that is a picture. And that's it. And then I will just get it in there like that. There we go. So straight away, that's puffing up. In a normal oven, it would take maybe 4 minutes until golden. The hotter, the better. So there we go. A lovely little flatbread. Now I kiss it with oil. And that is a thing of beauty. Look at that. So good. Let's have a little try. Right. I'm gonna nick a bit without Jules noticing. So look at this. We've got the aubergine there. We've got the pesto. Let's put it on the flatbread. Squash it in. Wow. The beautiful olives. The feta, the nuts. Look at that. It's just a gorgeous little mouthful. Honestly, truly, the texture of the aubergine is so velvety, it's so silky, it feels substantial. And what's really nice is because the aubergine is still warm with the cold salad, you get that contrast. Mmm. Oh, Jules is here. Mm-hmm. Right. Look at that flatbread.
Mmm, it's good.
So, should you go and have this now?
Yeah.
Just have it picnic style.
Mm-hmm.
Properly to share.
Can I take the olives with me?
Yeah, you take the olives. So there you go. Next time you go past those aubergines in the supermarket, give them a little wink. Get them home, get them in the oven for 15 minutes, and make that pesto. Honestly, you won't regret it. Come on, buds. Come on, Jules. Right, let me do you a nice little wodge. You like it, Buds?
Yeah.
So there you go.
It's really nice because it's very summery.
See in the flatbread, look. If you tear it up, see how that little pocket?
It's like a pita.
Yeah. I like putting the little salad in there. I'm going to show you how to make the most beautiful Traybake pesto pizza pie. It's so good, it's really striking, and it's from my brand new cookbook, 5 ingredients, Mediterranean. I'm super proud of it. 5 ingredients, super simple, but this time, all that inspiration from around the Mediterranean, those beautiful countries. So let me show you how to do it. Here, we've got 500 grams of self-raising flour. I'm going to put a couple of nice pinches of salt. I'm going to give it a little drizzle of olive oil. And then I've got 275 millilitres of cold water that I'm going to put in. I'll use a fork to start off with. And, you know, often when you're making pizza, you know, you've got to make the dough, you've got to prove it. We've got none of that. Make this dough by using the fork just to move stuff around. Slowly, slowly. You can use your other hand. What I don't want you to do is get like really sticky. So just use the tips of your fingers. And then we'll give it a little knead. So as it comes together, you can start being a little bit more aggressive with your hand. And then what I want to do is just knead it, not a lot, just enough to make it smooth and elastic, and ultimately clean the bowl so the washing up is nice and easy. So you've got all this stuff around the edge, right? That'll all get sort of taken off. So look, I've just kneaded that for like a minute and a half, just so it cleans the edge of the bowl like that. So not much washing up to do there. So now just put it on the board. Use 2 hands now, just for a little minute, until you have a nice, elastic, smooth dough like that. Look. Very simple, very easy, and a brilliant cheat dough using self-raising flour. So look, we can put that to one side. So let's talk about flavour. On the bottom of this kind of pizza pie, we're going to have pesto, right? So you can make your own by all means, or you can just buy it, right? Get the best you can. We're going to use mozzarella, which is delicious. This is buffalo mozzarella. These ones are a bit more milky, a bit more tasty, a bit more tangy, but also a little bit wetter. And then here, with these jarred veggies, I'm using artichokes because I think it's a really classic Mediterranean vegetable. I think it's really underloved. And then good old tomatoes. So these are vine tomatoes here. Always tasty when you get them on the vine. You can use any tomatoes you want. I'm just going to get a knife and I'm just going to half some of these tomatoes, and if you want you can quarter some others. So this is 350 grams of cherry tomatoes. What I want to do is season that up to be utterly delicious. And actually I'm going to use my bowl from before because it's so clean. So in we go with the tomatoes. So take the artichokes out of the jar and we'll steal a little bit of that oil. If you have leftover oil here, right, really, really simple. Just grab a bit of mustard, a bit of vinegar, a bit of salt and pepper, right? Don't throw it away. Always have 1 part of vinegar to 3 parts oil, and we'll turn this marinade oil into a lovely dressing, right? Give it a little shake. So that is a nice little bit of marinade or dressing that you can put in the fridge for a rainy day. That'll last. Nice little hacks, nice little ideas. So look, what we're going to do now is just season this with salt and pepper, mix it up, and that's going to roast on top of the pesto. It's going to be great. So let's do the fun bit now. Let's roll out this dough. So I'm going to use my hands to push this dough out. Normally, I'll still need to use a little rolling pin just to roll it out. And if you want to dust it with a little flour, feel free. Just a little flour on top, like that. Put it underneath. Look at that. So, super easy, super quick. All you have to do here is roll this out to the size of a tray. So this is roughly a 35 centimetre by 25 centimetre tray. And I want to roll out this bread dough slightly bigger because I want to do a really nice little twisted sort of crust that's delicious and spongy and crispy to eat. First, what I'm going to do is just lube up the tray just with a little olive oil, just so it helps the bottom get golden and not stick. So we definitely don't want you to have a stick and kind of tear it. So that goes to one side. So just roll this out. So it's about 1 inch bigger than the tray itself. I'll pick this bread dough up like this and just put it down on the tray.
I like it having that little overhang on the edge. That's what we want. So just make it fit the tray nicely. We start off with the pesto. So 2 generous tablespoons of the pesto there, and just push that right across the tray. And you can get different pestos as well, so you might want to change up the flavour. So this recipe is open to all of that. And then we've got the tomatoes and the artichokes. I'm just going to scatter those sort of evenly across this tray. You can get beautiful peppers, you can get squash, you can use things like olives, you know, lovely veggies that cook quickly, like asparagus. Really, really nice. So have fun with this. It's a principal recipe. Then at this point, it's super simple. It's not technical in the slightest. I'm going to take up one corner of the pastry and I'm going to fold it over like that. When I fold it over, I'm going to use my thumb just to push down. Then I'm going to put my forefinger here and pull the next bit over and push it down. Simple, right? Like that, like that. So we can spin the tray. Don't stress about this. It's just a bit of fun. It's just a nice little kind of crimped edge. So look, it's already looking pretty beautiful. Use the mozzarella, just tear it like this, right? So you can use any cheese you like that melts nicely. Just tear a little bit off and just dunk it in a little kind of evenly dispersed hole. There's really no rules apart from just roughly be even Stevens. So I've got a little bit of that excess herby oil here from the jarred artichokes, and I'm just going to put a little bit of that over the edges and in and around the beautiful pizza. So look, it's a thing of joy. Now I'm going to cook this in the oven for 30 minutes and I'm going to put it at the bottom of the oven so the heat has the best chance of making this base nice and semi-crispy. And then we're going to get this golden and crispy on top. Beautiful. So 30 minutes at 200 degrees Celsius, which is around 400 Fahrenheit, and it should be a very beautiful thing. So in it goes. Nice little salad, maybe a little glass of wine, and that is a delicious little meal. So it's had 30 minutes, it's smelling and looking pretty good. Have a look at that. It is just a thing of beauty. It's like a picture. It's weirdly satisfying. If I get my knife under here, it should just slide off, which we like. This is actually, you know, for 4 people. I think that's quite generous. Look at that. Just a nice, juicy slice of our pesto pizza pie. It's really easy. It's really fun to do. I think it's very flexible, depending on what you've got in your fridge or your pantry. Like, you can have some fun with it. It's nice and hot, so I'm gonna have to eat this in a very technical way so I don't burn myself. Look at that. Quite nice for parties, actually, like a little wedge like that, going around, getting people going when they arrive at a little dinner party. Beautiful. So look, I love how the base is actually nice and crispy, but I also love, see how you get that sponginess there, right? We love that. Ooh, hot. Combinations, like crunch, soft, sweet, fragrant, herb, the mozzarella, milky, tangy, like it is all the things that we love about a good pizza. If you want to get the recipe, then check out the book. I hope you love it as much as I do. And you're gonna love this recipe. This one is a cracker. This is Harrisa roast chicken with sweet potatoes, crispy chickpeas, tortillas, and a chili and yogurt dip. It's so good. It's a kind of feasting dish, and it's really affordable, guys, and such fun to make and eat. So let's do it. The story begins with a little vinegar, but it's gonna be propped up by a secret little ingredient, harissa paste. This is North African chili paste. It is not super hot. It's quite mild. It's got layer upon layer of flavor. So we're gonna use 2 teaspoons, and this is gonna literally reinvent your roast chicken. This is the base for 3 ingredients, so we're keeping this recipe simple. First up, chickpeas. We'll go straight in to this tray. Sweet potatoes. We're gonna treat them like a jacket potato, right? So just throw them in whole. Easy, easy, easy. So we're using a free-range chicken. You buy what you can afford, okay? But this chicken is gonna go in this tray, and we're gonna rub it up, and everything is gonna be tossed in that beautiful harissa dressing. And look, let's just talk about healthy little swaps, okay? Look, potatoes, delicious, love them. Sweet potatoes, however, nutritionally much more robust and delicious.
Get the chicken, put it breast side down, some seasoning. Let's wash my hands properly. So in the oven, it goes for 1 hour and 20 minutes at 180 degrees Celsius. So the chicken is in the oven. Just go and chill out, literally for 1 hour. And turn the chicken halfway through. The chickpeas will get crispy, the sweet potatoes will get soft. And as we sort of baste it and turn the chicken around, flavor galore. What I need to do now is a really beautiful but simple slaw. So I'm gonna use carrots, red cabbage, apples. I'm gonna dress this slaw with a little olive oil, and then I'm gonna use some vinegar. This is red wine vinegar. You can use white wine vinegar. Get the apple and grate the whole thing, core and all. So the carrots, we're not even gonna peel it. If you wanted to use up other vegetables in your fridge so you're not wasting things, go for it. With our red cabbage, I just need 1/4. For me, what I love about this is you take everyday, humble, really affordable things and make things that are kind of frumpy, exciting. Look at that. Come on. Look at the colours. So give it a nice mix up, have a taste. Oh my Lord. The sweetness, the acidity, the tang, the crunch, I love it. If you wanted it to be a creamy slaw, just add a little bit of yogurt. Really, really good. And so much healthier than mayonnaise. A brilliant, healthy swap. Now, I have an optional extra. I'm using a bit of mint because I just love it. It's nice in the slaw. It'll be nice over the dish at the end. Beautiful. Right, let's get this chicken out of the oven. Oh, it smells incredible. Come on! Look at that. Absolutely delicious. It's juicy. So you can tell if the chicken's cooked, if the juices run clear. This is cooked. We're gonna let it rest now. Take this sweet potato and just bust it open like that. Look at the color. It's very hot. You might want to use a pair of tongs. Come on, look at that. Hot and steamy. Just pour those juices and the chickpeas over the chicken. These are so tasty. Those little bits of extra mint, if you've got them, absolutely beautiful. Now, we need the tortilla. I'm using a brilliant healthy swap. So this is the whole wheat tortillas. You're gonna get more fiber than a regular white tortilla. Warm these up, 30 seconds. Last but not least, if you take a little yogurt, it has this incredible cooling, refreshing effect. Take a tiny bit of that harissa and marble it. Beautiful. Tortillas, load it up with a nice amount of that slaw. Shred the chicken. So look at this, guys. It's gonna be delicious. Really nice. Sweet potatoes. Get those amazing chickpeas as well. Look at that. Flavors galore. So look, this recipe will feed 6 people, but even if it's 2 or 4 of you, you've got leftovers galore. You'll use all of this. Nothing will go to waste. That harissa yogurt. And it's a little party in your mouth, I'm telling you. Absolutely delicious. So come on, let's have a little taste. It's messy, don't care. That's what I love. It's so tasty. You got the light chili, you got that juicy, juicy chicken, and those beautiful, crispy little chickpeas with that fresh kick of the slaw. So guys, honestly, it's messy, it's delicious. I think you're gonna love it. I'm gonna keep embracing the tofu. Just like back in Japan, it's great value, really high in calcium, protein, and low in fat. So let's try and find a way to love it. And a burger, it's just the best way.
A fast food favourite, but not as you know it. A gorgeous golden burger stacked with cheese, pickles and homemade sauce on a bed of crunchy rainbow salad. And all for only 425 calories per portion. Our first job is to squeeze some of the moisture out of it.
You want to remove about 4 tablespoons of liquid.
Losing some of the water content ensures lovely crispy edges when the tofu cooks. Add about 75 grams of wholemeal breadcrumbs and crack in an egg.
We're going to use flavouring from an old friend. You'll either love it or hate it. So I want 2 teaspoons of Marmite. And this is a nice flavouring for me because it's savoury and I just like what it gives this particular patty that I'm trying to create. And that's the great thing about tofu, it's a great carrier of flavour. You know, the Marmite gives it that lovely savouriness, which I like. But at the same time, you could swap Marmite out and put pesto in. You could swap pesto out, you could put miso in. You could use harissa instead. Have fun with it, make it your own. But this recipe is a good base, and it gives you a good texture when you put it in a bun and put it in your gob.
Once it's evenly mixed, shape into 4 patties, and it's time to cook them. I've got an amazing tip that's going to add loads of warm herbal flavour and more crunchy texture to my burgers.
Rosemary, when it gets fried in oil, incredible things happen. It kind of turns into like little crisps.
Lay your patties on top of the rosemary. And now it's time to knock up a vitamin-packed homemade ketchup with no sugar.
We need about 8 lovely, ripe tomatoes. Fresh is cool. Of course, you can do this with tinned tomatoes if you want, but fresh, ripe tomatoes are going to give you that kind of sunshine vibe.
Chop up the tomatoes, add to the pan, and then season with salt and pepper.
Definitely, I like a little bit of spice. So a tiny bit of chili sauce or some dried flakes of chili here. And then what other things make a kind of ketchup work? Acidity, that sort of piquance. So red or white wine vinegar, about a tablespoon. So we're not going to add sugar because I think you can get a lovely result, a fresh result with the natural sugars that are in these tomatoes right now. That's why they've got to be ripe, OK? So another little tip is if you go to a market, at the end of the day, they always flog off the overripe ones. They're the ones you want in there. They're perfect.
Tear in some fresh basil.
And you can see this is getting thick already. So what we'll do is, as it's cooking, we'll just use a potato masher to break the sauce. But look how quickly that's happening.
Flip your burgers, cooking them for 3 minutes on each side.
So look at these. I mean, they're looking really good. Great colour, crispy, soft, and sort of nice in the middle. Kind of quite excited about that.
Next, classic burger territory, cheese. To add calcium, but also I want to keep it light on calories.
50 grams is all we need. So to complete this meal, we want to kind of do a hybrid of a slaw come salad, come kind of shred vibe going on.
Eating a wide range of colours will provide a spectrum of superfood nutrients. So I'm using all sorts of crunchy veg, sliced, chopped, ribboned, and for some real retro fun, crinkle cut.
You get kind of crinkle cut chips. Yay! This reminds me of an 80s perm. I don't know why. And once we've done that, let's just get in there, mix it up, and kind of let it just all look gorgeous. Let's just create a massive bed of goodness and colour that kind of all speaks for itself. Look at that.
Next, a dressing for my salad. Plain live yoghurt, good for your digestion. A handful of basil, Dijon mustard, and a splash of white wine vinegar.
You want that twang in there. Some salt, just a little bit, and chilli, about half a chilli, just to give it a little rumble of spice.
Whiz it up until smooth, and drizzle it over your rainbow salad. Time to build your brilliant burgers. I'm using wholemeal buns, on average double the fibre of white. Covered in that tangy tomato sauce with your cheesy tofu patty resting on top. And no burger is complete without pickles.
Just 2 or 3. And then the lid. Good. Get stuck in there, boy. So look, there you go. Really healthy, totally balanced. We've got all of those elements. We've got carbohydrates, protein, fruit, veg, and dairy. Yeah, 425 calories of goodness. Hello, Mr. Burger. The tomato sauce is delicious. Texture in there, it's soft on the inside, crispy on the outside. That, my friend, with the salad, unbelievable. Something a little bit different and really delicious. And quite messy. I like it.
I'm taking inspiration from Ikaria and using gorgeous Greek feta packed with calcium with a tangy, salty flavour. It's the perfect accompaniment for a special occasion succulent steak and tabouleh salad, and will bring a little bit of the party island to your home.
Steak, love a steak. People love steak, and definitely one of the things that we've picked up looking at the parts of the world where people live the longest, most productive lives is that they're not eating loads and loads of meat. Once, twice a week, max. So quality, not quantity, definitely important. I've got it out of the fridge about half an hour at least before I want to cook it. You don't want to take things out of a cold place and put it in a hot place. It's going to go tough and not cook as beautifully, so we're getting that out.
To go with the steak, I've already got 150 grams of whole grain rice on the go. It needs to boil for 25 minutes.
What we're going to do is create some really decent flavour. Now, first up, I've got a jar here of peppers. You can get these in all the supermarkets. They've been grilled and peeled. 200 grams, okay? So you've got one of your 5 a day here already. But that juice, now you can throw that, by all means, in the bin, but that is all flavour. So that is going to go into our rice. It's got smoky, salty goodness in there. Let's have it.
Simply tear open the peppers and stick them on the griddle pan.
So get it nice and hot, and it's going to give you that lovely charred flavour. Also, it's been in a jar, so it kind of needs waking up a little bit and softening up a little bit. So I'm going to lay the peppers in here. Now, I've seen people cooking in griddle pans and pouring in a load of oil. Don't do it. You don't need it. A dry pan. Get it really, really hot. And of course, by not using fat, we're not wasting calories. So let's just char those peppers, bring them back to life, and then let's get on the meat. All I want to do here is just push it down flat, so we're beginning to tenderise it. I want to season it with salt, quite a nice amount of black pepper, because we know that pepper and steak love each other, and just a little bit of oil, just to rub around the outside. So I'm just going to pat that all over, and that's a really lovely kind of outside kind of crust that we can create on the steak, and that's all we need, okay?
So the peppers are done, put them on a platter and save them to serve with the steak later.
So what I want to do is dress the peppers in the actual juices coming out of the steak. So it's really about being clever about flavour. That's all looking good. The steak can go straight on the bars here. Push it down. Let's get nice char marks. I'll turn it 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, and you get a nice crisscross sensation on the outside of the steak. Push it down, and we should be laughing. Again, no oil going in this pan, just the minimal oil on that steak and high seasoning. It's going to be great.
It'll just need 2 to 3 minutes on each side for medium rare.
Beautiful. So next up, this kind of brown rice tabouleh, okay? This is a brilliant way to love herbs.
I'm doing my superfood version of tabouleh. It's a Middle Eastern dish, traditionally made with herbs and bulgur wheat. But I'm using brown rice instead. So to start off, grab yourself a small bunch of parsley and mint.
Right, we're going to go to the most basic chopping action ever, okay? And that's the cross-chopping. Hand here, and then holding the handle here, and just rocking it through like that. This is so simple. And basically keep doing it until it's nice and fine.
Next, chop up 2 spring onions. And then for the dressing, you'll need the zest and juice of 1 lemon and a glug of cold-pressed extra virgin olive oil.
So we're doing double lemon juice to olive oil. I want to get it really zingy. So look, the brown rice is done. It's had about 25 minutes. All I want to do is drain that. But when the rice is hot like this is the perfect time to dress it in all that gorgeous stuff.
Add a pinch of cayenne pepper to your olive oil and lemon juice. Then go in with the rice and all the herbs.
Of course, you can serve it hot, warm, or cold. It'll keep in the fridge as well, which is really, really nice. But I always think sort of room temperature is absolutely the best. Actually smells fantastic. Let's have a little taste. Nice. Right, I do need to season it, but I'm going to use feta cheese later. And if you buy feta cheese in these little tubs here, there's a little tip. There's that juice in there. The smallest little swig of that juice that the feta cheese comes in is amazing, because obviously it's seasoning, but it's more than that, it's flavour. So we'll take that. We're always taking flavour, and we don't want to waste. The steak is beautiful. I want to put that straight on to our peppers here. Can you see it resting? And that's what we want, where it's resting and there's just juices pouring out of it, okay? That's going to kind of sink in through the peppers, so you're going to get peppery beef juices. It's going to be absolutely lovely.
Next, toast up 25 grams of unsalted pistachios on a medium heat. Nuts are an easy way to add a nutrition boost to any meal, so they're going in.
While that's happening, pomegranates. I just want half a pomegranate. I'm a massive fan. I absolutely love them. And I want to get their flavour into the salad. Little capsules of sweetness. Hold it in my hand like that, put it like that, and just get a spoon and give it a ruddy good spanking. So all those little capsules just sort of bust and burst.
Pomegranates are a source of B vitamins, which help keep our metabolism, immune and nervous systems healthy.
And then just stir that through. Imagine just eating the salad, and then you come across that beautiful little capsule of sweetness, boop, and it's just shock and surprise, but a really nice one, so I like that.
Time to remove your pistachios from the pan and give them a good old bash up in a pestle and mortar.
I'm just gonna sprinkle into the salad. So, this is looking good to go. I'm just gonna pile that beautiful salad onto there. The steak here has been resting. You can see how much juice has come out here. If I just put the peppers to one side, there's loads of that good stuff there. So the peppers here, we can just dress that in all the beautiful juices.
Thinly slice that gorgeous juicy steak and drape it all over that lovely rice salad.
And then I want just a tiny bit of feta cheese, literally 10 grams, just sprinkled over the top like that. I love feta. It's one of the lowest fat cheeses. It looks beautiful, and it's kind of nice to use it like a seasoning.
Add the feta. It's a really tasty way to get some more calcium into your diet.
Once the feta's gone on, a final little sprinkle of pistachio. And there, my friends, is the lovely grilled steak and peppers with jeweled tabouleh rice. That's an absolute crowd pleaser.
And this just goes to show how a little steak can go a long way.
It's totally balanced, it's nutritious. So all round, it's a great, healthy, delicious, beautiful dinner. Look at that. Just gonna have to eat it now.
That super fast, super delicious grilled steak and feta dinner comes in at just under 600 calories per portion.
It's good. It's really good.
Okay, dinner time, guys. And I have a great one here for you. I've taken an Italian classic and given it my superfood twist. This chicken and sweet potato cacciatore is a hunter's stew. Rich and satisfying, this hearty meal will fill you up with the good stuff, and all at only 421 calories per portion.
I bet you never thought it could be super healthy and balanced and tick all of those boxes. Yes, I've done it for you. First up, we want some smoky pancetta. Look, it's tiny, thin, little slithers like that. Will it make a difference? Yes, it will.
Slice it up into little matchstick-sized pieces. Then heat a tablespoon of olive oil on a medium heat, and in it goes.
And as it starts getting crispy, I've got some rosemary here, just a couple of sprigs. I've got some bay leaves. This makes all the difference. And herbs do so well in oil. That's how they transmit all their flavour.
Next, finely slice 4 cloves of garlic.
Instead of using loads and loads of oil and the calories going up and up and up, just clever little tips like angling it like that. You can cover all of those bits of garlic. The smell, by the way, is already incredible. We can go in with the 4 chicken thighs here. 1 nice thigh per person. You've got the bone there for flavour. Just by getting skinless thighs, you're reducing the saturated fat straight away.
We're going to roughly chop an onion into eighths. Onions are a simple way to pack in flavour without loading up the calorie content. Then, roughly slice the white of a leek, split the green part, wash it thoroughly, and finely chop it. Leeks are a great source of vitamin K, which helps bone strength.
What I'm going to do now is I'm going to add something that's not in the classic recipe, just a little bit of chilli. I only want a half, OK? So I'm just going to split this chilli all the way down, and some parts of Italy where I've had this classically done, of course they wouldn't have originally had chilli, but they had black peppercorns and they go quite heavy on it. So I'm just going to kind of reenact that a little bit, and I'm going to put a half in, and the point is this: I'm not going to chop it up so everyone gets it, but I'm going to lose it in the bottom of the pan, and it's just going to be this lovely little hum that adds character to the whole dish. And then at the end, you can take it out, and if you want to chop it up and put it back in, you can, and it's a nice little extra. OK, so this is softening up beautifully, and that softening is going to create sweetness and flavour and depth. So investing in this part of the stew is really, really important.
I want to add some chestnut mushrooms, so I'm trimming 100 grams of them.
So with the mushrooms, what I'm going to do is just take the end off like that, and I just find that just by removing that, you get this beautiful, beautiful sort of cross-section of the mushroom. And when that's on the top of the casserole, it just gets gorgeous. and I love it. And then these kind of offcuts and trim, there's so much flavour in there. So we just chop it up, throw it in, and it'll get lost in the sauce and be absolutely fantastic. And then on to the sweet potato. I'm just gonna cut off little inch chunks like this. And the reason I'm just cutting them quite chunky like this is I want nice, meaty, chunky bits. And as that roasts and kind of stews, it's just gonna be less like a vegetable, more like a protein, more like a meat. Let's turn the heat up now and let's get some sizzle on. And that's when you want to add about 250 mils of some decent Chianti. And if it's good enough to drink, it's good enough to go in here. It's important now to season with a little salt and pepper, and then we'll just adjust it a little bit later. And then one thing that I nearly forgot, 8 olives, okay? Just 8, that's all you need. And I think sometimes we think about olives almost the wrong way. So olives, when you buy them, don't get the ones with the holes in, right? They're salty, they won't taste very nice, and they're never that good, okay? Get the ones with the stones in, different story. And then all you have to do is just squash them with your thumb, and we'll take that pip out, and the flavour's extraordinary. It's kind of not in there to be an olive, it's a sort of seasoning. Go in with 2 tins of tomatoes, and once you've done that, let's half fill these tins and get all the last sort of remnants out of the tin, but also we do need a little bit of water as well. And then just break those tomatoes up, and then we're just gonna give it one last little stir. Just look at that. That is beautiful. That's an amazing one-pot dish. You know, 10, 15 minutes just to put it together.
Now that's going in the oven at 190 degrees Celsius, which is 375 degrees Fahrenheit or gas mark 5 for an hour.
I'm very excited about this. Look at that. First up, look at the way I cut that sweet potato. Just by having a big chunk, it's cooked differently. If you chop it up small, it goes like something you'd see in a soup. But like that, it's just kind of substantial and gorgeous. And you can see that little bit of effort on the mushroom just looks super pretty. Got some lovely, simply cooked seasonal greens. Anything you like, anything you can get your hands on is always nice with a lovely stew like this. I'm gonna serve it with a slice of bread, but remember, you know, this is beautiful with rice, this is beautiful with polenta, pasta, mashed potato, so kind of take it your own way. That is proper food right there.
This really is an easy-to-make, delicious dinner packed full of the good stuff. Bigging up that humble hero that we need to get onto, the sweet potato.
Let's get in there. First of all, let's just check the chicken. Has it gone gorgeous and tender? Yes, it has. Look at that. That's exactly what I wanted. Lovely, tender chicken. So good. I like getting the old bread and just using it to mop up all the little bits, the sauce. Super good.
I want to show you another delicious superfood meal. We're going to do a gorgeous crispy Asian beef with brown rice noodles and loads of shredded salad and zingy dressing. A lovely lunch or dinner.
It's really nice and simple to make. So 1 pan on a medium heat. I'm gonna get a handful of peanuts, about 20 grams, into a pan like that. Just wanna toast off those peanuts just to wake up the flavors, get the oil going. I've got a kettle of boiling water and I want 150 grams of noodles. Now, there's loads of brilliant noodles available now in the supermarkets. These are brown rice noodles.
So we're trading up from our white noodles. These are whole grain, and they've got a whopping 5 times more fibre.
I'm just gonna move it around like that and then pour the boiling water straight on top. So we're not gonna boil them, we're just gonna let the residual heat of the boiling water just kind of be absorbed into the noodle.
Add a little seasoning of salt and give them about 10 minutes.
Basically keep moving them around until they look nice and plump and sort of perfect to eat. These little peanuts here, you just want to char them a little bit, so I don't need to do much more than that. Just going to put them into a pestle and mortar, and then we'll just grind these up. I want to have some big bits, and I want some sort of powdery bits as well. So that's kind of a garnish, but it's going to be delicious.
Give these a little move every now and again. You can just see the starch coming out of them into the water. Beautiful. OK, so in this pan, we're going to add these little babies, star anise. They are so beautiful. The classic flavours of hoisin sauce. And I'm going to put 2 of those in a pan. They'll start to toast up. I'm going to add to the pan 1 tablespoon of sesame oil. I'm going to go in with the gorgeous, lean, quality beef. 200 grams. So we're only using 100 grams per person. And we want to get these kind of crispy, golden, and full of flavour.
Using lean beef mince is a really easy way to lower the calories. While it's frying, peel and chop a thumb-sized piece of ginger and a clove of garlic. Add both to the pan to give the beef a real punch of flavour.
OK, so let's have a little toss-up. And we just want to get that really gorgeous and crispy. You can see the moisture's kind of cooked away now. The garlic and the ginger will start almost like candying, and that's what you want. One last thing I've got to put in there is a little bit of honey, just a teaspoon. Tiny little bit, 1, 2, 3, and off it goes. That's all we need. It'll give it a lovely shine and a gorgeous sweetness. So now, keep your eye on this like a hawk. OK, dressing. Now, I need a little bit more ginger and garlic, but what I want to do is show you a lovely way of doing a gorgeous zingy dressing. I'm going to use a grater. What's amazing is that little teaspoon of ginger there is more than enough to flavour this gorgeous dressing.
Then grate 1 clove of garlic.
And the lovely thing about raw garlic is it's hot. It's got a real kind of pungency to it. Keep an eye on that lovely crispy bits. Don't go too much. And then chilli, you don't need much. Say half a chilli. Again, grating it. Grating it gives you a different flavour. You can see it splattering juice everywhere. And it's going to give you a lovely warm hum.
Add a teaspoon of low-salt soy sauce and a teaspoon of fish sauce.
Soy sauce and the fish sauce are quite salty, so we're not going to season anything else in this because this will do it for you. So being mindful of salt is definitely useful. And then 1.5 limes. So I'm going to roll these limes like this. I'll reserve half just for putting on the side of the noodle dish because we like that. And then we'll squeeze 1.5 in there. We want it to be sour, salty, hot, fragrant. Have a taste. Ginger's good, chili's good. Maybe a tiny bit more soy. Happy days. What I want to do now is look at the salad. So with a round lettuce, you could use jam or romaine. It's quite nice to mix up the visual appeal. So we've got quarters here. Things like radishes. The humble radish is really good in these gorgeous Asian dishes.
These contain so many nutritional goodies, and they're an excellent source of vitamin C and folic acid, which we need to keep our immune system strong and healthy.
Look out for the different coloured ones. Look at that. Really, really nice. Things like everyday cress, do you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be an egg sandwich. Just cut it off. That in a stir-fry dish, beautiful. And then onions, finely sliced for sure. You want to make them nice and delicate. And feel free to mix up any veg you can get your hands on. Cabbages, greens, anything crunchy. I'm going to use some carrots here. And if you wanted to, you know, just use a little speed peeler with the carrots and just keep peeling it. And you get those lovely ribbons, which are undeniably beautiful and delicate. So I've got some coriander here, and all I would do is finely slice the stalk. They're delicious and sweet and a little bit crunchy, and we'll keep these leaves nice and whole. So look, there's all our shredded veggies in all their glory. You know what? Cress, radishes, round lettuce, carrots, they're probably the cheapest, most available everyday veggies. With a bit of love, care and attention, you know, you can transform them into things of beauty. Let's have a little look here. Look at that. That's what I'm talking about. Crispy bits, golden, looking gorgeous. Try and get your timing of these being golden and sizzling and straight from the pan on the cold salad to the last minute. So when it hits the salad, it's like, that's the dream.
Drain the noodles and divide between your plates. silky and soft. Those brown noodles have got a nice natural flavour. And then those quarters of salad, hit with all those gorgeous radishes, carrots twirled about, the spring onions, you want those everywhere. A little wodge of cress, coriander stalks. And then wait for our golden, crispy beef and just shake that on top. And then, of course, we've got this dressing. Try and pour it in and around everything. Peanuts. Just a wodge. Like that. This is going to be a joy to eat. Happy days. This is absolutely the kind of stuff I love to do in the middle of the week. You can knock it out quick, makes you feel good. So good. Healthy food doesn't have to be boring. This is full of texture, colour, flavour. This is a lovely, lovely dish.
A fresh, vibrant salad in a zingy ginger and chilli dressing, scrumptious noodles and caramelised beef.
440 calories, loads of veggies. You've got your carbohydrates, your protein. It's a really exciting plate of food. It's going to be immense. Delicious, nutritious, and pretty damn quick.
Protein-packed prawns smothered in a punchy marinade, resting on a pile of whole wheat couscous, fruit and veg with capsules of pomegranate providing bursts of sweet joy. This is one sunny celebration of food you won't want to miss out on.
So first up, look at these prawns. We've got 6 of these bad boys.
We're going to add some big flavour with a marinade.
So all I need is 2 sprigs of rosemary. That's all you need. And by the way, rosemary and shellfish, they're not thought of as being like best friends, but I'm telling you, it works an absolute treat. Just give it a good bash up. You know, it's going to help you use less salt because you've got loads more flavour going into your food. Then we're going to hit it up with 2 cloves of garlic, OK?
Garlic is a source of vitamin B6, great for the immune system. Next, a teaspoon of smoked paprika, followed by saffron.
Just a subtle little hit of that is going to give you the most wonderful sort of like barbecue vibe going on. And then a little pinch of saffron. And it gives you the most incredible colour. So that goes in. Now, one thing's for sure is that saffron requires infusion to pull out all of that beautiful flavour. So just a little swig of water. So kind of in essence, we're making a tiny little cup of bonkers tea. So just drizzle in 1 tablespoon of good, healthy, extra virgin olive oil. Look at that. The colour is just amazing. That, my friends, is one hell of a marinade right there. So you could use that on pork, chicken, all sorts of skewers and wonderful things. But this is going to go on our prawns. Now, prawns, inside this beautiful prawn is a little vein that we want to get rid of. Just get some cooking scissors and just cut all the way down the back. It's very simple. It opens up that area and then we can pull out that vein very, very simply. Just like that. And of course it makes it cook quicker, it allows flavour to get in, and also it splays open like a beautiful kind of butterfly prawn.
In longevity hotspots, they tend to choose proteins lower in saturated fats, like seafood. Reducing red meat in your diet will help lower cholesterol and keep your weight down.
Now the prawn is a fantastic source of protein, really, really high in vitamin B12. Now the reason that's a really important one is because it's great for your nervous system and your immune system, so it's fantastic to get your hit of vitamin B12. We are going to just get our hands in there now. Look at that. That is going to be a joy to cook and to eat.
I'm taking inspiration from our friends in Costa Rica and trying to get more fruit into your life. We might not have the Marinon or the Spanish lime at our disposal, but a good old orange is a fantastic source of vitamin C.
Toss those also in the marinade. It's such a picture. Such a picture. I mean, look at that. Incredible colours. You know it's going to be good. It's going to cook so well together in the pan, or you could even roast it. So, moving on.
While your prawns marinade, pour boiling water over the whole wheat couscous. Cover and set aside for 10 minutes to fluff up.
Next, veggies. This dish is one of the most exceptional ways to effortlessly get your 3 of your 5 a day.
This veg will add nutrients and fibre to the dish. I'm using peppers, courgettes and asparagus, but use whatever's in season. A variety of colours tend to mean a wider variety of vitamins, so don't be afraid to mix things up.
Last but not least, 1 or 2 chilies, depending on how hot they are. Always nice to get a bit of heat going on in there, but subtle heat. We don't want to blow anyone's head off. It's just a nice little hum.
These fiery favourites are super high in vitamin C and also contain anti-inflammatories.
Let's pour that into our bowl. And we now want to flavour all of this with a lovely, simple, clean dressing. It's kind of St. Clement style, oranges and lemons.
Squeeze the juice of 1 orange and 1 lemon over the couscous.
More vitamin C, more goodness. The sweetness of the orange will balance the acidity of the lemon. And you could add olive oil if you wanted to, but this is fat-free. We're not going to go into the olive oil on this particular one.
Add some finely chopped mint and mix it up.
Use a spoon, but I like to use my personal spoons, which are my hands. Get in there. Look at that.
Time to cook the marinated prawns and oranges.
Every last bit of juice. We want it all in there. As it cooks, the prawns will start to change colour. Have a little toss around. They won't take very long to cook at all. Move everything around so it has full contact with the pan. Can you see this prawn butterflying out? See how it's just opening up as it's cooking? So now we've got nice colour on both. We can kind of toss this around, and that's what we're talking about. Really nice, gnarly prawns.
And the orange slices will now have a lovely, fragrant, caramelised flavour as well.
So let's plate up, guys. I love, by the way, serving this as a share plate, and then we can go around with those amazing prawns. They're so beautiful. The colour's extraordinary. When you do finally squeeze the juice out, that's what we want. Beautiful, sweet, gorgeous, caramelised juiciness. Get all the flavour out of there and pour that over your prawns. Wowzers. Got it all over me. Yeah, the mess has started. You wait till the end of this. It's going to be everywhere. So, we have nearly all the elements of perfection here. We've got our carbohydrates, that lovely whole wheat couscous. We've got amazing protein in the form of those prawns. We've got veggies galore, citrus galore, herbs galore, and to finish off all of those food groups, dairy.
Top with little dollops of mild, cooling yoghurt, a sprinkling of mint leaves, and finally juicy jewels of pomegranate.
Those little capsules of sweetness. Imagine eating the sort of spicy, saffrony, sort of beautiful prawns and some veg, and then that pop of sweetness from that. I mean, look, it's such an incredible colour. So just grab it, put it between your fingers like that, and from a height, celebrate mess, because the mess is going to start now. Just get it amongst it from a height, and just do a Jackson Pollock, mate. You want to create mess. There you go.
Warmly spiced prawns on a bed of rainbow-flecked couscous, and that all-important vitamin C-rich fruit. And like my Costa Rican friend Huber said, why buy something synthetic when you can eat something so delicious? Not bad, rolling in at 572 calories per portion.
So all we have to do now is eat it. And there ain't no polite way to do this. Right, here we go. More juice over the top. Be prepared for a mess. Head off. Get the shell off. Really delicious flavour. Veggie, couscous. It's a complete celebration of everything that's good for you in one dish. What a joy. What a joy.
A rich, hearty superfood black bean stew with bold, smoky chili flavours, topped off with a fresh zingy salsa, rocking in at only 532 calories a portion.
The thing I like about this is it's 4 or 5 a day. It's delicious, it's comforting, but very, very, very healthy. It's going to be based around veggies, and you're going to see so much colour.
All the healthy hotspots I've visited eat a mainly plant-based diet. so we could all do with trying to eat a little less meat.
I never want you to eat veggie dishes because you think you should, or you have to, or it's healthy. I want you to eat them because they're delicious, first and foremost, and then all of the nutritional benefits just follow behind it.
Firstly, we're going to roast off some veg.
So here we got butternut squash, absolutely brilliant, love it. So I just want to carefully half it. Now, it's round, it's got a little skin on it, and if you're not careful, this can be dangerous. So please, 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 be very careful. Tip of the knife goes into the half, go straight down to the bottom, and use your weight to carefully take it down like that. Swivel it around, and we do exactly the same.
For this recipe, we only need half, so take out the seeds and cut into 3-centimetre chunks. Then pop into a roasting tray with a pinch of salt and pepper and a teaspoon of ground coriander.
They're coriander seeds ground up. You can get it in the supermarkets. You can get the seeds and pound them up yourself. Unbelievable with squash.
Add in just a teaspoon of oil.
Get your hands in and just have a little toss up. Notice the skin is on the squash. The skin, for me, is the best bit. It goes deliciously sweet and candy-like, but also it's where a lot of the nutrients are and the fibre, so really, really good. And squash specifically is really good for vitamin A, so it's good for your eyesight and eye function.
Slice and add 3 peppers to a separate roasting tray.
I really love peppers. Peppers, full of vitamin C, and of course, when you roast them, they go outrageously sweet and gorgeous.
Season with salt and pepper, then add a teaspoon of smoked paprika for a big smoky flavour and a teaspoon of oil.
We're going to massage those flavours, seasonings into this. Look at that. That's flavour right there.
Put both trays of veg into the oven at 200 degrees Celsius, which is 400 Fahrenheit, for around 30 to 35 minutes.
Get yourself a pan on. I like using a nice casserole-style pan. We're going to big up more veg.
To kickstart the stew, peel and roughly chop 2 onions, but reserve a quarter for the salsa later.
1 tablespoon of oil into the pan, just put it to one side, like that. Then we want to use bay leaves, these little bad boys. We want to get in there with 4, 5 or 6. Just get them into the oil and they'll start to slowly fry, release their natural oils. They smell incredible and they'll give the base of the oil a sort of nice little perfume.
Crush in 4 cloves of garlic.
Then we can go in with our onions. Normally in cooking, you'd want to drench it in oil. And every tablespoon of oil, you're sort of pushing another 120, 130 calories. So let's just keep it clean. Let's be restrained. And what I want to do is really help the natural sweetness of the onion come out without loads and loads of fat. So a lovely way to do it is just take a little cup of water and just stop that frying. That little splash of water sort of stops the hard frying. It sort of dissipates the oil around every single little bit of onion, so it takes a long way. Also, it's sharing all the flavours, and as it naturally sort of cooks down and evaporates, then you've softened the onion to the point where we can turn it right down, right? And that's the key. With big flavour and vegetables, it is all about intensification and concentrating natural flavours. So roasting does that, and frying slowly does that.
When the onions have softened and intensified, add some balsamic vinegar and turn the heat back up to full whack.
I'm going to add the kind of hero of this dish, really, because the powerhouse of this dish is the black beans.
Put 2 tins of black beans and juice into the pan. Half fill both tins with water, swish it about and add back in.
So look, give them a nice stir here, bring it to the boil.
So that's the base for the stew done. Next, I need those gorgeous roasted veg.
The spices, they've stuck to it. So that's real flavour that we've got there. So let's just scrape that into our pan. We'll put in there. And then with the peppers, exactly the same. If I just put a little swig of water in there, that is all caramelisation, sweetness. That's all the juice of the peppers. That's almost like gravy. One more ingredient before we let that simmer, okra. Probably something that a lot of people haven't tried before. You can get it in the supermarkets, you can get it in the markets. This is absolute classic South America, the Caribbean, really, really good. What I love about it is if you finely slice it, it's kind of like a natural thickening agent, so you can put it in stews and soups and stuff, and it just makes it absolutely gorgeous.
Add 100 grams of okra to the stew. Turn down the heat and simmer for 15 to 20 minutes.
Okay, time to make an amazing, colourful salsa. Salsas are just dreamy when it comes to contrast. It's going to be like light and shade.
Finely chop the quarter of onion, your coriander, then de-seed and finely chop 2 tomatoes along with 1 chilli.
Then it's lime time. Just give it a little roll with your body weight. And there's another sort of great excuse for flavour. If you get one of these fine graters, they're a really great tool for superfood everyday eating, because what they do is allow you to extract flavour where maybe you wouldn't have got it before.
Add the zest and juice of a lime and bring it all together.
So salsa done. Look at that. An absolute picture. Time to serve up. The best bit.
Serve your smoky bean stew with some brown rice, a dollop of yogurt, and a sprinkle of coriander.
And then, of course, our lovely salsa. Now it's had a little time just to sort of share the flavours, but a nice hit of that salsa. It's all about that. Let's not be shy. Right in there like that. And some of the juice, just pour that over the yogurt. Gorgeous. It's a really humble dish, but it's exciting. It's an absolute superfood classic. 4 of your 5 veg a day. You've got all of those elements you need in your dinners. You've got your carbs, you've got your dairy, you've got your protein, you've got your veggies.
It's an open en croute. Instead of a whole puff pastry case, it's got an incredible cheese sauce topping, tender, flaky salmon, and the most amazing stuffed crust. It's super easy to make, but deeply satisfying. A real centerpiece at any family gathering. It all starts with the salmon.
Every now and again, there's a glut of farmed salmon. And these little bad boys are on deal in the supermarket. Take advantage of that. Have it skinned and pin-boned, and you've done no work at all.
The pastry isn't going to eat into your time either, because I'm using 375 grams of ready-to-roll all-butter puff pastry.
I don't really want you to make puff pastry. You have got more important things to do. But all butter puff pastry is a joy. They've even rolled it out for you.
Now you can spend some time and care on the really tasty stuff, beginning with the Herby spinach filling for my stuffed crust. In a large pan, heat up a slug of olive oil and a knob of butter. Then slice up 2 cloves of garlic.
So this is going to be the beginning of the journey of making it taste gorgeous. For all you people out there that don't like greens, you have to trust me, this is awesome, right?
Dice up 2 onions and add those to the pan, along with half a bunch of fresh oregano leaves, and fry gently on a medium heat for about 10 minutes.
See how the onions have turned colour a little bit? Beautiful. So there's sweetness there now. This is going to really give incredible flavour.
Go in with 750 grams of frozen spinach, and another 250 grams of any leafy greens and herbs you want.
Things like basil, you've got things like rocket, watercress. I've got some little flowering fennel here, beautiful. I've got some dandelions here from the garden, super nutritious. I've even got stinger nettles, right? Yes, they sting. You can put rubber gloves on if you're not as strong as me. But pick these smaller leaves and they're delicious, full of the good stuff. And as soon as you cook them, the sting goes.
Gently sweat the whole lot down for 15 to 20 minutes, or until all the moisture's gone. Season and leave to cool completely. Meanwhile, you can get on with the gorgeous cheesy sauce.
So the classic sauce was a bechamel. I want to take it on a little bit. I want to give it some more.
Start off by melting a knob of butter in a medium hot pan and throw in 1 sliced leek.
And then I'm going to add a little kind of curveball. 50 grams of beautiful sun-dried tomatoes. It's going to give it a lovely rosé tint. You know, that sweetness, that sunshine flavour will be in there. Let that slowly cook for about 10 minutes.
And once it's all softened, pour in about 100 mils of nice white wine.
And we want to cook that away, right? We definitely don't want a winey sauce. That's not nice. But we do want the kind of essence of the effort and care in that wine to be left.
Stir in a tablespoon of plain flour and 250 millilitres of milk. Simmer for 5 minutes, then pour all of it into a blender.
We're going to go in with a little cayenne pepper, just for a little kick, a little bit of background warmth.
Finally, grate in 50 grams of tangy red Leicester cheese.
I kind of use the cheese as a seasoning, but that's going to really help it gratinate as well. Absolutely gorgeous. And just whiz it up. Right. So here we go. silky smooth. Off the chart.
Now you can start assembling this beauty.
Okay, so this is a fun bit. This is when it's a bit like an Airfix model, right? You want to bring it all together.
Roll out the pastry further if needs be, so there's a 10cm border around the fish for that gorgeous stuffed crust. Then, on with the spinach.
Just use a spoon to push that spinach nearly to the edge. Leave a little bit of pastry there like that.
Season the salmon, then lay it on top, and simply roll up the sides.
Now you can see, as I kind of turn this like this, what it's doing is creating that lovely stuffed crust. And then on the edges, there's no sort of right and wrong way. I'm just going to push it and crimp it. The thing about puff pastry is it's very forgiving. It's going to kind of cook into itself. So if it's not pristine now, it will cook into something beautiful.
Pour over the cheesy sauce, give the pastry a quick egg wash, and finish with a lovely garnish of oiled oregano flowers.
They'll smell incredible, they'll look incredible, and they'll go super crispy as well.
Bake right on the bottom of the oven at 220 degrees Celsius, 425 Fahrenheit for 30 to 40 minutes, until the pastry is crisp and the top is golden and gratinated.
This is at about 35 minutes. I've turned it once around in the cooking just so it's even. Come on. So there you go. My homage to the retro beautiful thing that is Salmon En Croute.
Time to plate up. I'm keeping it simple and serving it with buttery new potatoes and a zingy watercress salad. This is one update your friends and family are gonna love.
Let's go. Go in for the salmon. You can see how flaky this is. It's crispy at the bottom. Let's get in there. Oh, so good. The sauce just protects the fish and it's got a lovely flavour. You know, the spinach was absolutely worth that love and care. And that, my friends, is a glorious meal that I know you're gonna love. So look, I want to do a delicious, quick, healthy, colourful lunch for me and Jules, and I want to reflect a bit of optimism in the food. Colour, excitement, textures. So I'm going to do a kind of made-up dish that I've been fantasising about, beautiful salmon tacos. You know, that little flatbread, flaky salmon, salsa, that's what I'm after. It starts with the salmon. We will go in with salt, give it a nice little season up with salt and pepper. And then I really get excited about the idea of spice combinations, allowing the everyday to go somewhere exciting or another part of the world. So this is a Cajun rub, right? It's a blend of spices, things like paprika, oregano, thyme, a little chili, you know, they smell amazing, smell amazing. So look, I'm gonna sprinkle this on the salmon and be very, very generous. So really make a little job of just rolling that salmon and packing that spice around it. And once you kind of really compact it around the salmon, boring, this will no longer be. So let that just sit and kind of take in that flavour. Let me just wash my hands. Okay. Salsa. Texture, vibrance, excitement, sweetness, sourness, attack. That, for me, is what a salsa is about. You can spend all day doing all kinds of things, and it might be the salsa that takes you 3 minutes that makes that rock. So, let's do this. I've given these a nice little wash. All I'm gonna do is quite delicate preparation. So, cherry tomatoes, half it and quarter it. It's quite nice to use a variation. And honestly, a good salsa in your life and a little bit of just focus and attention, it's super easy. Then I'll go in with spring onions, and again, thinking delicate. Do you know what? I could not genuinely be happier than being outside, just cooking, listening to that lot. I love it. With the green part of the spring onions, we'll go as fine as we can again. Different flavours will come through. And then here, just take 4 or 3 little bits of basil, right? And then I just roll it up. Could be mint, it could be parsley, it could be coriander, whatever you choose. And look here, purple basil. And then look where it's gone into flour. It's very beautiful. I'll take that. And these are amazing in a salsa. And then avocado. You know, God, my family love these. Try and get a spoon that mirrors the size or shape of the avocado. Put your spoon in between the skin and the flesh and just ease it in and kind of hold the spoon against the skin, and you'll find it just cups it out so beautifully and you get that amazing little lobe. Avocado can discolor and oxidize, so a good little trick is to get some acid, lemon, lime, orange, give it a little roll, and then I'll save half for serving my taco, and then I can just squeeze a little bit of juice on this, and it kind of seasons the avocado in a lovely way, but also protects it. It will stay really fresh and green. Little delicate, thin slices. I will add a little chili. I don't want it to be hot, but I like the freshness that a chili gives you. Already, it looks like an amazing summery rainbow. Painter's palette. Then fruit. I'm using a mango. It's got to be a ripe one, right? If you can't get that, pineapple. If you can't get that, grapes, blueberries, strawberries, anything delicious, sweet and sour. You've got the little stem here. So the lobe goes this side. So I'm just going to put my knife in. I'll hit the stone, and then I'm just angling my knife around it and then just move the mango around, edging off that stone. There's the stone there, you see. I only need half. Take this mango into about 4, and then it's really easy to get my knife under the skin. And once you've got it under the skin, you just literally bend the mango down and rub the knife against the skin, right? It's so colourful, even the bees are floating around. Okay, so now I've sliced up all that beautiful salsa stuff. All I'm gonna give it is a nice seasoning of salt and then a good squeeze of lime juice, and that will be an amazing little salsa. So what I'm gonna do is put my salmon on and get these going. I'll go skin side down. By going skin side down, it's kind of protecting the fish. It's gonna go crispy. I want the salmon to be kind of coloured, but kind of blushing on the inside and flaking just beautifully. When I did this recipe first time round, I did it indoors on a non-stick pan on a medium-high heat for about 3 minutes on both sides. It's gonna be so nice. Let me just wash my hands. Next up, let's do the flatbreads as I'm cooking the salmon. It's super, super simple. So you want 4 heaped tablespoons of self-raising flour. So for every little taco, 1 tablespoon. And then 4 tablespoons of water go in, and that should make you perfect tacos. I want a little bit of salt in there just for seasoning, and a little kiss of oil. Super simple. So many of us buy tortillas from the supermarket and you can just make your own so fast. It's like a 40-second recipe. So move it around. As the bowl starts to be cleaned, we can get it out, and then I can just give it a little knead on a board. Once you've given it a nice little knead up, just divide that into 4. Take one of those balls. I've got a little flour here just to dust, and we'll just dust away and roll these out thin. They take no time at all. So if I look at the salmon, it's probably ready for a turn now. The skin is looking amazing. Wow. So look, once you've rolled your tortillas out, grab like any plate, dish, saucer, little bowl, and you can cut around it. We can settle for rustic and a little bit wonky, or make it a little bit more perfect. I love both. I love rough and ready, and then perfect just makes me feel like you've cared a little bit. Okay, so let's have a look at what we got here. Salmon is doing very, very well. And what I can do, which I love to do, is just grab one side and pull that skin off. Look at that. And it's highly likely that this bit could be the best bit of the whole meal. Crackling, crispy, spicy. So I'll lay that onto the bars and that will render out, and then put this salmon back on that peeled side. Can you see that skin sizzling? Look at that. Oh, the flavour, the texture. My kids fight for it. Like even River, he's 3.5 and he knows. He's like, give me the skin. Give me the skin. No, seriously, like he'll take mine. But what's really interesting, it's still malleable and still sort of quite soft, but the minute it starts to cool down, it goes crispy. So if I take like a rolling pin like this, and I took this skin and just put it over like that, you can kind of get these crazy waves and shapes. Look at that, getting crispy and gnarly. Beautiful. And I can tell that the salmon is cooked gorgeously. If I just apply a little bit of pressure, it just flakes beautifully. Look at that. That in the taco is going to be amazing. So, this to one side. Let's get these tortillas cooking. And look, they're great on a barbecue, but they're equally fantastic in a non-stick pan on full whack inside, right? That's how I normally do them. Look how cool they look. Look as the heat makes them puff up. Little bit of colour on one side and hardly any colour on the other side. So easy to make. Amazing. So as soon as these come down, they're a little bit crispy. So if you put a little tea towel on top, that will make them steam a little bit, make them more pliable and keep them warm. Okay, let's make a lovely couple of tacos. Optional, sour cream, a tiny bit of yogurt. Then I'm gonna take our salmon and I just wanna kind of flake it. Then salsa, and I like to mix it at the table so it's fresh. Look at the colour. Optimism, excitement. So let's embellish now. Look at that, fresh flavours. That ain't boring. And the little bit of juice, the juice that runs off of the salsa is so good. And then you've got those crispy bits of salmon skin, and I just like to smash it up to give you that crunch. A few bits of basil, and there you go. The only thing I might do is take a little bit of chili oil. So let's have a try. As I bend it up, look how even more appealing that gets. A little taco of juicy goodness. Oh, it's dripping. Let's have a little go. Oh, wow. There is a dance going on in my mouth. Texturally, flavour-wise. The salmon just holds the whole thing together. You got that punch of the Cajun spice that just kind of gets you every now and again. And then there's all the brightness. The rainbow, it's just so good. Wow.